Well, as we bring our two class winners from our AOB classes back together for champion and reserve consideration within this particular breed, I think we can sit and we can compare and contrast the two heifers from this vantage point and make our decision. I think the strengths of both of these cattle is kind of up through their front third. We talked both of them as being feminine, sharp females that are good in terms their top line strength and their hip and their hind leg designs. I think both of them adequate in terms of structure here. Really, to me, the key difference is as you study them from their shoulder back in terms of their body shape, lower body progression, stoutness in terms of hip and width and muscularity there from behind. That's where the black-hided female has an advantage, in my opinion. We're going to use her for champion. We'll follow with the red-hided female from reserve. If y'all would, let's congratulate both those exhibitors on a job well done.
Back right. Please bring your champions back to the ring. Champions to the ring.
Well, as we bring all of our champions back for grand and reserve consideration, If you would, first and foremost, let's congratulate these kiddos on a job well done. If you would, let's put a round of applause together for them. I'm going to kind of talk through the cattle again and kind of let you go into my mind as we make a decision here because I don't think that this is easy by any means. We've got a lot of different types and kinds amongst these four out here that are in consideration. And so I'll just kind of let you go into my mind and let you just kind of know what I'm thinking on all of these cattle. We started with our Hereford female there and certainly liked a lot of the things that she represented. You know, we got on her just a little bit in terms of maybe being a little shorter, a little rounder in terms of her hip shape, and then motion. She would duck it just a little bit. Again, I don't think that's any concern. She's still plenty good in terms of her structure, more of just an aesthetic thing to me. Past that, I think as you start to compare her to these other cattle, she does a good job to me of combining refinement and femininity up front with still having the right type of body shape and mass from her shoulder back. She's a female that's opened up there from behind. She's still really long and smooth in terms of her muscle pattern, which I like from a maternal fashion. To me, she does put a lot of good things together. I think probably the one thing you got to ask yourself, is her hip long enough? Is it level enough? And in motion, is it aesthetic enough for you? And if it is, then I think you could certainly run with that female because she puts a lot of good things together. Past that, in my mind, a very nice female there that come out of our Hereford division. We talked our mini Hereford there individually, you know, just type and kind, and she was a female that I thought represented a lot of good, especially within this particular breed. Her balance here from the profile is very nice to me. Her structural integrity within that breed I thought was very, very good, and honestly, I think if you compare just her maybe to the ideal miniature Hereford out there, she's as close in my mind probably as any of the cattle in terms of kind of reaching that pinnacle within that particular breed. I think this is a female that brings a lot of good to the table. Now, you sit back and you compare her to the other breeds here in this drive, and you probably say, again, it's natural per breed that she's probably a little bit more compact in terms of her design. She's probably not quite as extended or as feminine up ahead of her shoulder. You know, she's probably a little bit just, you know, more conventional, if you will. And that, again, we'd expect that out of that particular female because of her breed makeup there. You know, I think if anything, we could probably stand to maybe freshen her condition-wise just a little bit. But again, she's an older female that is coming with a calf here, and so I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing when we think about milk production when that female gets into her working clothes here. So I do think a female that brings a lot of good to the table. We sit back and we kind of compare and contrast, and again, that's probably where you have to ask yourself, you know, does she strike you with the same look that maybe the cattle on either end do? But I think just individually, that female brings a lot of good to the table. We get back to our AOB cattle. We use this black-headed female to win that particular division, and we really like her look here from the profile. She's a female extended, really sharp in terms of her lines. She's the freshest female in terms of condition, I think, in the lineup, right on target in my opinion. Stout in terms of foot and bone and really attractive. You know, we maybe picked on her just a little bit in terms of her ankle on the go. I don't know if it's the surface or if it's just her natural structure there, but she does just knuckle up just a little bit. You know, she's probably not as deep in terms of her forerib shape, probably not as soft back into her rear rib as the two cattle that precede her in the lineup here, but you certainly have to like her look and her design there from the profile. So I think we've got a really, really nice lineup, and I'll be honest with you, and I'll be honest with you as we get into the steer show here momentarily. Again, I don't think this is easy. I think that different judges could go different ways based on where they want to put their priorities. You kind of have three different cattle to choose from, and it's ultimately just kind of what suits you best. But if you would, let's congratulate all these exhibitors here in the ring. I'll go and I'll show you a champion in reserve.
Supreme Heifer belongs to Leanna Navarrete. Reserve Heifer belongs to Zaylee Navarrete. We'll take just a quick break, and the steer show will start at 9 o'clock. Steers at 9 o'clock.
Now's the time to get a great deal on the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. Professional-grade mowers, durable sidekick utility vehicles, and versatile compact tractors. It's the equipment you need to take care of your land. Right now, get select L2502 series for as low as $21,999 or $325 per month.
Visit your local Kubota dealer, Amigo Machinery at 2801 Southeast Main Street in Roswell.
Beef showmanship will be held immediately following the prospect show this morning. Boosters and pre-boosters, there's a sign-up sheet and numbers at the west end of the show ring. Please get yourself on the list if you want to show. Novice, junior, and senior, you do not need to sign up. You should already have a back tag.
Now's the time to get a great deal on the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. Professional-grade mowers, durable sidekick utility vehicles, and versatile compact tractors. It's the equipment you need to take care of your land. Right now, get select L2502 series for as low as $21,999 or $325 per month.
Visit your local Kubota dealer, Amigo Machinery at 2801 Southeast Main Street in Roswell.
Equipment you need to take care of your land. Right now, get select L2502 series for as low as
Class 1, this is your 5-minute call. 5 minutes to the gate, Class 1.
Now's the time to get a great deal on the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. Professional-grade mowers, durable psychic utility vehicles, and versatile compact tractors. It's the equipment you need to take care of your land. Right now, get select L2502 series for as low as $21,999 or $325 per month.
Visit your local Kubota dealer, Amigo Machinery at 2801 Southeast Main Street in Roswell.
Class 1 to the gate. Class 1 to the gate, please.
Now's the time to get a great deal on the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. Professional-grade mowers, durable psychic utility vehicles, and versatile compact tractors. It's the equipment you need to take care of your land. Right now, get select L2502 series for as low as $21,999 or $325 per month.
Visit your local Kubota dealer, Amigo Machinery at 2801 Southeast Main Street in Roswell.
Class 1 to the ring. Class 1 steers to the ring, please. Class 2 to the gate, please. Class 2 to the gate.
Well, a good, really good way to start out in our beef show here. Good class, deep in terms of quality. Young people are doing an outstanding job. I think as I walked in behind the lineup, these were the two cattle that to me stuck out from a muscularity and a power standpoint. I thought these were the two thicker-ended cattle, and when I put my hands on them, both of these cattle here were more muscular in terms of just topside mass and shape. And power there right from behind. I think when you set them into motion, that's where I make my decision. Go ahead and use our market heifer here to win this particular class. She's a little full. She's just slightly bloated there, and so maybe that kind of causes her to draw up in her top line just a little bit on the go. But I think if you study the angles of her skeleton, especially in terms of the set of her hock, the comfort level of her rear ankle, her cleanliness of joint, to me, the set of her knee and her front skeleton there is more correct than that of our second place steer in this particular class. She gets out. To me, she's more coordinated. She's more confident in terms of her track. Again, I think she's balanced here from the profile, especially to me, chest back into flank. The way that her hip and hind leg is designed from the profile, I thought was all an advantage that allowed her to go ahead and be our class winner in this particular class. Congratulations there to you, buddy. I'd be lying if I told you that the gray steer probably wasn't the one that initially caught my attention the most. He's really extended up front. He is big muscled. He's got the most shape, the most expressive turn there to the top side of his skeleton. He's the biggest hipped. He's the truest steer from behind. And when the young man can get him put together there from the profile, I think he can give you a really good look. He's a little stouter in terms of his foot and bone than what our class winner is. My hang up on him, young man, get him into motion. He's just not as comfortable. He's a little uncoordinated. He's a little bigger jointed type of steer that's just not quite as comfortable in terms of his lower joints when we get the cattle into motion. That's ultimately what makes my decision between that pair. But I love his look. I love his shape. It's a very good carcass type of animal there to be in second in this particular class. I thought the black-hided steer here, to me, fell third in this class because he's another muscular, shapely steer that's got a good shape down the top side of his skeleton. Right here from the profile is probably where I would adjust him. He's a frailer jawed steer that's a little tighter back into his flank. I didn't think that he was quite as far along from a finish standpoint as what our top pair was. Just probably didn't balance quite as nicely as what the initial duo did there from the profile. He's probably a little bit frailer in terms of foot and bone as well, and I think that can affect that. But he's a nice steer that's got a good shape up top. I think he'll be a nice cutout steer in the end. Young lady brings us our miniature Hereford steer, and again, this one's kind of tough for me as a judge. We're comparing kind of apples to oranges here, if I'm being honest with you. And in his own right, this is a very high-quality animal. He's balanced and he's proportional. And if you wanted to say that you liked his proportionality better than our third-place steer and switch that pair, I wouldn't argue with you. To me, I get in behind this steer, probably just not as genuine from a muscle standpoint as what our top three were. He'll close in the top side of his skeleton just a little bit. I like his balance. I like his symmetry. Just wanted to give him a little more muscle relative to the three that come before him. But very good job to you there, young lady. Our yellow steer here that comes next, young man, I'll tell you, this steer is probably as close to the mark, in my opinion, from structure and a look standpoint as anything in the class. He's extended, he's long-sided, he's built really well in terms of his feet and legs, and I like him the most in the class when we get him out into motion. My hang-up with him is I get around behind him or I get my hands on him, I just want to see a little more meat animal shape in that steer. He'll close behind his shoulder, he'll funnel to his pins, and he'll flatten down low. If we can just stouten that guy up from a muscle standpoint, we could really run with his type and kind because I love the way that he's built from a structural standpoint there at the ground. Going to conclude with a black-hided steer here that's much the same. Again, good built from a structure standpoint, young man. This steer's extended up front. He can give you a nice look here from the profile. Just when I pass in behind him, I just want to inject a little more meat animal shape in this steer. He's the one that closes the most from behind in the lineup. If we could just power him up from a muscularity standpoint, I like his type and kind. Just need a little more muscle. Really good class there, if y'all would. Let's congratulate each and every one of those young people on an outstanding job.
Class 1 results. First place, Brazen Spear, Diamond H, tag 8746. Second place, Trip Moss, Valley Rascals, tag 8743. Third place, Kimber Naranjo, Goddard FFA, tag 8742. Fourth place, Zaylee Navarrete, Diamond H, tag 8740. Fifth place, Dub Swinney, Roswell FFA, tag 0004. Sixth place, Jackson Hotalin, Wiley Draw 4H, tag 8745. Class 2 to the ring, please. Our judge this morning is Ty Gillespie from Clarendon, Texas, where he is an agricultural professor and livestock judging team coach at Clarendon College. Ty attended Clarendon College and Texas Tech University, where he judged livestock and received a degree in animal science. He then went on to receive a master's degree in agriculture from West Texas A&M University. In addition, Ty, his wife, and family operate Adams Cattle Company, which specializes in raising and selling show cattle for 4-H and FFA projects across the state of Texas. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Gillespie. Class 3 to the gate. Class 3.
Another really nice class here in our second grouping here. And I tell you what, I thought that the top 3 steers in this class were challenging in my opinion. I ultimately land on the young man's kind of louder marked stocked-legged steer here to win the class. I think he's the most complete in this grouping. To me, he's the one that combines acceptable muscularity with the right kind of look here from the profile. More importantly, the right kind of structural build in terms of his lower joints and his security there at the ground. You know, he's probably not the most progressive in terms of his degree of finish amongst the top 3 here. I deem it plenty good. Could we maybe shave down just a shade, a crest at the top side of his neck? I wouldn't argue if you wanted to maybe nitpick him there either. But to me, I thought that he was the most complete because, again, he's solid in terms of muscle, good in terms of look, and I thought structure-wise, he's an upgrade to the steer that we have in second in this class. Congratulations to you, buddy. Young man, I really appreciate a lot of the pieces of this steer here in second. You know, we raise show cattle back home, and again, we try to raise them like this. Stout-headed, big rib cage, opened up from behind. He's the most impressive in terms of muscularity down the top side of his skeleton. My limitation, he's just a little straight on both ends of his skeleton. We make that guy kind of get and go with more comfort. Hey, we can win the class with him. For me, he's just a little upright for my taste, and so I just want to maybe alter him there. But again, I thought the uniqueness of this steer in terms of his stoutness, his power, bone and foot size relegated him into second. Just maybe want to change him structurally in a place or two. But good job to you there, young man. Got a black and white steer here that, again, I thought close between second and third in my opinion. This steer's practical bodied. He's sounder in terms of his feet and legs than our steer in second was. Still balanced in terms of his look here from the profile. I thought he just got a little plain in terms of his look, a little dropped out in his chest, just a little more general in terms of his look, a little frailer in terms of foot and bone. But again, good type of cattle, good type of everyday market stock, practical bodied, good in terms of his structure. Young lady brings us a solid black steer here next. That's got a really good look to him from the profile, especially up there ahead of his shoulder. He's a fresh, neat-fronted steer. He's picked up in terms of his chest, really strong in terms of his top line there. I just thought right in terms of his lower body and his flank is where I'd adjust him compared to the 3 steers that precede him. He'll flatten and kind of dry up in his forerib there. He'll kind of cut up back to his flank. He'll round in his hip just ever so slightly, and that just will detract ever so slightly from his look here just a bit. Love him up front, just want to soften him down low, and I think that would help him balance up just a little better. Honestly, just probably needs just a little more time on feed as well, young lady, but a very good looking steer there. Young man brings us a gray steer here that's going to conclude the class, and I'll tell you what, you climb in behind this steer, he's really impressive. He's big-hipped, he's expressive in terms of his stifle shape. I just right here, he's the bare finish steer that kind of like the steer that precedes him. Gets a little drawn up in terms of his underline, a little tighter in terms of his flank. We could adjust him structurally just a bit as well off of both ends. But a good class there, really competitive on the top end if y'all would. Let's congratulate all those young people. Put a round of applause together for them if you would.
Class 2 results. First place, Wyatt Dennis, Hagerman FFA, tag 8753. Second place, Grady Moss, Hagerman FFA, tag 5579. Third place, Brody Wooten, Goddard FFA, tag 5554. Fourth place, Jesse Hale, Berindo 4H, tag 8744. Fifth place, Trip Moss, Hagerman FFA, tag 8756. Please bring Class 3 to the ring. Class 3 to the ring, please. Class 4 to the gate, please. Class 4.
I tell you, I think this group here a little challenging to put together for me. Not that the cattle are not really nice, but maybe I want to take maybe a part of each of them and kind of combine them together because I like attributes of every one of them. I'm going to ultimately land on the Baldy steer here to win the class. And again, the word complete is kind of what come to my mind to me on the top three here. I just thought from a balance and a proportionality standpoint, from the profile, that's where I preferred this steer here. And ultimately, I think it's because of his length of hip, his levelness levelness of hip where his tail head sits into the top side of his hip, and the design of his hind leg from an aesthetic standpoint that to me helps him be the more attractive steer there from the profile, kind of last rib back. I think, probably if I could adjust this steer, I'd probably maybe drop him in his midrib and his flank just a little bit in relation to where his chest sits. I also probably thought this was the steer to me. Put your hands on him, a little more consistent from a finish standpoint over his final two in relation to our other two cattle. They're just in terms of his degree of finish. This steer structurally, again, could we maybe adjust him there just a bit? I think you certainly could. You could make him a little more comfortable in his hock. You could probably set his knee back in him just a bit. But I thought from a look, standing still standpoint, combine that with being just a little smoother from a composition standpoint, that's where I go ahead and land on the Baldy steer to win. Congratulations there to you, buddy. I thought it was really close between second and third, and took a while on this pair in my mind. Ultimately, what makes my decision, this steer in second, young man, I really like him from his shoulder forward. He's fresh, really neat in terms of his chest. He sets his neck really high on the top side of his shoulder. He's more laid back in his blade, has more set to his knee than the steer that just walked out of the ring. Really from there back is where I just want to pick some parts of him. I want to open him up in his forerib. He'll flatten there just a little bit. And then his hip. He just wants to kind of round in terms of his hip. In motion, he'll kind of get up underneath himself just a bit. And so if I could pull him apart in his forerib, lengthen him, and level him in terms of his hip, hey, I think we could run with this steer because he's awesome up front. He's big in terms of his muscle shape there from behind. I just maybe want to lengthen and level him there out back to kind of match what he's got working up front. He's a big bone steer. He gets to his track. He's comfortable. Just want to maybe tweak him in an area or two compared to our class winner there. But congratulations there to you, buddy. This steer that comes in third is one that did hit me hard when he come in the ring. He's a deep-sided steer, really comfortable in terms of his feet and legs. I like that. To me, his hip is designed just a little more correct than the steer that just precedes him. I get my hands on this steer. He's a little bare in terms of his finish, young man. Over his last two, I could probably just intensify him from a fat standpoint there. He's also a little mature about the shape of his head, the shape of his sheath, the crest of his neck, and the base of his chest. I just want to freshen this steer up a bit, progress him from a finish standpoint, and I think there's certainly useful parts and pieces of that steer. Just again, maybe one or two places I want to tweak him in comparison to two steers that precede him. Young man brings us a stocked-legged calf here next. It's got a really good look to him. Up-headed, strong, level in terms of his top line there, good in terms of the levelness of his hip. This steer from the profile you can certainly tie into. Get in behind him. He'll close in his upper hip. Biggest thing structurally, as he goes away, and you can kind of see as he leaves the ring, he'll put a lot of pressure there on his outside toe, wants to kind of roll and push there at his hock. I just like to square him up from a structural standpoint. Young man brings us a steer here next. I tell you what, if you like a moderate, packed full of muscle, and good from a finish standpoint, this is probably your kind right here. To me, he reads just a little more conventional in terms of his maturity pattern. I don't know how much bigger he's going to get, young man. He's kind of looks like he's kind of tapped out to me, and he reads that way finish-wise there in the base of his chest, his cod, and his pones as well. Structurally, he gets to his track, but if you watch him go from behind, he'll just set him a little wide for my taste. So biggest thing, maybe just want to stretch his maturity pattern out just a little bit compared to those steers that precede him. And that is the case with a steer that's going to conclude the class. Again, I like his growth pattern just a little bit more. He's a steer that's a little leaner compositionally. From a balance standpoint and a structure standpoint, just where I'd like to change him. He gets a little tight back to his rear rib and flank. You can see as he tracks away there. Just want to make him a little more comfortable in how he goes out of his hip, hock, and pasture into the ground. Really good class. Again, I thought the top three there could go a lot of different ways depending on where you wanted to set your priorities. Good class, though. If y'all would, let's congratulate those exhibitors. Really, really nice job.
Class 3 results. First place, Braxton Wooten, Goddard FFA, tag 5551. Second place, Calvin Munson, Goddard FFA, tag 8752. Third place, Calvin Munson, Goddard FFA, tag 8768. Fourth place, Brock Spear, Diamond H, tag 8747. Fifth place, Brody Wooten, Goddard FFA, tag 5553. Sixth place, Braxton Wooten, Goddard FFA, tag 5555. Please bring class 4 to the gate. Showmanship classes will be held immediately following the prospect show. Boosters, and pre-boosters, you'll need to sign up at the west end of the ring, get a white back tag. Novice, junior, and senior, you're already signed up. Just be sure you have your back tag. Please bring your first and second place class winners to the gate. First and seconds to the gate, please.
Well, a really good class once again, and young people doing a nice job. We get into some heavier weight cattle here, probably a little more on that market-ready, standard. And we land on a really, really nice calf to win this class. Young man, this steer suits me awfully well. As he came in the ring, I thought, okay, here we go. He is built right in terms of his feet and legs. He is my kind when he gets out and goes. Steer's got an awesome balanced look here from profile. He is still fresh, really good up through his front third. I love where his chest sits in him in relation to his bottom line and his underline proportionality. And he's still, plenty adequate from a muscle standpoint. Very high on the steer that wins this class. A very nice job to you, young man. Good calf. But I tell you what, you climb in behind him or you put your hands on him, the white steer is the most muscular steer in the group. He's the biggest backed one that's come through the ring thus far, and I really, really value that. Huge turn right out there behind his shoulder, thick-ended, great deal of side view muscle shape here, and he still puts it together really proportionally here from the profile. We compare him to that steer that wins the class, take him one more lap around, just not quite built good enough in terms of his rear hock and pastern to me. If I could free him up there, let him go more comfortably, he pushes that one just a little harder because he is extremely muscular, still proportional. Just want to loosen him up structurally. We could probably freshen him in terms of his head just a little bit compared to our winner as well. But biggest thing, just want to adjust him in terms of his rear pastern there. But a nice calf there, chocked full of muscle there to come in second. Young man brings this kind of a scimitar marked one here in third that I tell you what, calf's built right in terms of his structure. He's long-sided, good in terms of his top line proportionality here. This is just good kind of cattle. I guess when you compare him to our first and second place steers in this class, I just didn't maybe quite read as much uniqueness in this calf. He's not quite as good looking or just awesome built as what our class winner is. He's not quite as muscular and opened up and stout up high as what our second place steer was, so he just kind of fits third for me, buddy. He's good, nice type of cattle, just maybe doesn't wow you in any one area, but a very, very solid steer there that lands in third. Young lady brings us a Hereford mark steer here, and young lady in the blue, go ahead and bring your steer around too, because I thought it was close between this pair of cattle as well. Ultimately, to me, the Hereford mark steer here, just a little bit better in terms of the drop and design of his forerib. I thought he was a little bit more correct in terms of his front end structure as well. My problem with him, young lady, he's probably just a little past his prime from a condition standpoint for this judge. He's awfully filled in his chest. He's got some pones working around the base of his tail there. Put your hand on this steer, and again, he's getting a little soft compositionally. Just didn't think that he had quite the cutability in him as what our initial cattle did. But he's balanced. He's built right. Just a little probably past his prime, ideally, for this judge. And that's what makes it close to me, young lady, because this black-hided steer is a little trimmer compositionally than what that calf is. He's just a little bit tight in his forerib and a little bit straight in terms of the angle of his knee. I thought when you got in behind him, probably wasn't quite as true in his upper hip as what the Hereford mark steer was either. But I thought a close pair there because he is a trimmer steer compositionally. Going to conclude with our horn steer here on the end of the class. And again, young lady, this is a extended, strong top, level design steer that I certainly like the way that he kind of balances up in the upper part of his body. It's more down low as you study this steer. I just want to change him. I want to drop him, soften him in terms of his rear rib and flank, and probably just progress him from a finish standpoint relative to where he is from a weight and frame size compared to the group here. But again, steer that's got a lot of length, a lot of extension, a lot of strength. If you would, good class there. Let's congratulate each one of those individuals. Put a round of applause together for them.
Results for Class 4, first place, Jake Wagner, Goddard FFA, tag 8754. Second place, Grady Moss, Valley Rascals, tag 5580. Third place, Brody Wooten, Goddard FFA, tag 5552. Fourth place, Liana Navarrete, Diamond H, tag 8738. Fifth place, Kimber Naranjo, Goddard FFA, tag 8741. Sixth place, Bailey Swinney, Goddard FFA, tag 8748. First place, Class 1, Brazen Spear. Second place, Trip Moss. Class 2, first place, Wyatt Dennis. Second place, Grady Moss. Class 3, first place, Braxton Wooten. Second place, Calvin Munson. Class 4, first place, Jake Wagner. Second place, Grady Moss. Just a reminder, exhibitors, the sale pull sheets are out in Hobson Hall. They'll be due by noon today. Your sale pulls will be due by noon today.
Well, before we go any further, I tell you what, if y'all would, not only for these kiddos, but every kid that come through the ring today exhibited a project, if you would, let's put our hands together for them, for those in our beef show. I'll just leave you with some thoughts on the group of cattle. I thought they were really nice. I sincerely like the lineup that we have out here. Probably not all cut from the exact same mold, but I tell you what, as you analyze our first place steers, I do think they start to kind of fit together. To me, these were the cattle that combined having enough muscle, enough carcass merit in them, with having just a little bit more look and eye appeal, being built a little better from a structural standpoint. And so I'm proud of the setup that we have out here in our first places and how they fit together. The second place cattle, what's interesting is they kind of start to mimic each other just a little bit as well. Those were cattle, I mean, all of them to me, very muscular, very powerful. Maybe, again, you could probably nitpick those steers there just a little bit structurally compared to the steers that beat them. And so I like the way that it comes together. I think we're going to have an awfully nice champion in reserve, and we're going to have a great third through fifth as well that come together in the lineup. I won't take just a whole lot of your time here this morning. It's been an awesome show. What I would maybe leave you with, kiddos, if I could ask you to do something for me after the show's over, not just these kids in the ring, but every kid that exhibited, would you please tell your parents, your advisors, whoever is helping you with this project, thank you. This is a game. It's an activity. it takes a lot of hours, it takes a lot of finances, it takes a lot of sacrifice to be able to participate in this. And so I think it's the greatest activity that you guys can be involved in. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you are having fun in what you're doing. Most importantly, I hope that you are learning life lessons from raising these beef projects right here. But it wouldn't be possible for you to do that without the support of your parents and your family and those that are behind you sitting outside the ring. And so please tell them thank you. Parents, I'll tell you thank you myself, and hats off for having these kids involved in this program, because I do not think there's a better way that you can be raising your young people. Secondly, I would like to just thank the show, thank those that have put it on, helped in the ring today. I was set to do it last summer, and we had a little bit of tragedy in my family, and I had to cancel last minute, and that really hurt me. I'd never done that before to a show, and so it was pretty emotional for me to have to do that because of that tragedy. And so I really thank y'all for giving me a second chance, letting me come back, and letting me be a part of the show. I thought it's been outstanding. So one more time, you bet. To me, the champion, pretty clear cut in my mind. And then I think it gets a little closer from there on out. Ultimately, I'm going to go back and kind of side with the type and kind of cattle I like, and keeping those priorities in my mind of having some structure, some look behind them, having enough muscle. So if y'all would, one more time, let's put a round of applause together. I'll go out and I'll get you a top 5.
Grand Champion Beef, Market Beef, belongs to Jake Wagner, tag 8754. Reserve Grand Champion belongs to Wyatt Dennis. Third overall, Grady Moss. Fourth overall, Brazen Spear. Fifth overall, Braxton Wooten. We'll give these winners just a few minutes to take some pictures, and then we'll hold our prospect beef show. Pre-boosters and boosters still have a few minutes to sign up for showmanship. It's at the west end of the ring.
Now's the time to get a great deal on the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. Professional-grade mowers, durable sidekick utility vehicles, and versatile compact tractors. It's the equipment you need to take care of your land. Right now, get select L2502 series for as low as $21,999 or $325 per month.
Visit your local Kubota dealer, Amigo Machinery at 2801 Southeast Main Street in Roswell.
Now's the time to get a great deal on the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. Professional-grade mowers, durable sidekick utility vehicles, and versatile compact tractors. It's the equipment you need to take care of your land. Right now, get select L2502 series for as low as $21,999 or $325 per month.
Visit your local Kubota dealer, Amigo Machinery at 2801 Southeast Main Street in Roswell.
Now's the time to get a great deal on the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. Professional-grade mowers, durable sidekick utility vehicles, and versatile compact tractors. It's the equipment you need to take care of your land. Right now, get select L2502 series for as low as $21,999 or $325 per month.
Visit your local Kubota dealer, Amigo Machinery at 2801 Southeast Main Street in Roswell.
Please bring your prospect beef to the ring. Prospect beef to the ring. Pre-booster showmanship to the gate. Pre-boosters to the gate, please.
Well, we just have a single entry in the Prospect Beef Show. And I tell you what, I'm going to commend the young lady and whoever is in support of her. She's brought a heck of a string of cattle, miniature cattle today. And this one is, again, no slouch in that regard. I like this miniature Hereford steer here quite a bit. I think first and foremost, and you talk about that particular breed of cattle, I think two things that become hard is balance and then structure. Most of the time we can get them thick enough and wide enough, but making them right in terms of their balance and making them right in terms of their structure, I think, can be challenging. And I think this steer here does a really nice job in that. Again, keeps his chest up in him. We could maybe soften him in his flank just a little bit, but we still have some time to go on this particular calf. But I think built really good, and again, have plenty of muscle when you step around behind them. So I asked the young lady what her plan was here with Princeton, her calf, and she said, I don't know, maybe win a couple shows, travel the world. So I think the sky's the limit for this particular duo here. And so if y'all would, let's congratulate her on having our champion prospect here. Wish her the best of luck as she goes forth. And so let's give her a big round of applause if you would.
The winner of our Prospect Beef Show belongs to Zaylee Navarrete, Diamond H4H. Booster showmanship to the gate, please. Boosters to the gate. Our booster showers today are Gearden, number 11, Colton, number 20, and Kyson, number 17. Novice showmanship to the gate, please. Novice to the gate.
Well, as we get underway in our showmanship divisions this morning, a great way to start with our booster kids. And we got 3 young people doing a really, really nice job, I think. And we got one young man up in the front doing it all by himself. And, man, he's killing it. He told me that he's already won that belt buckle that he's got on in his showmanship division. And so, man, I think all of them are doing a really, really nice job. I guess just a couple of comments as we kind of get the showmanship kicked underway. You know, to kind of circle back to my comments at the end of the steer show or the beef show, what a great way to get these kids involved. Get them here early, especially, you know, we've seen a lot of miniature cattle, and to get these kids involved that way, I think is outstanding. And just the confidence it builds in them and the life lessons that they will grow and develop from this particular project, I think is outstanding. So if y'all would, you know, put a round of applause together for them on an awesome job. They've done great, and we'll get on into the rest of the showmanship.
Thank you, boosters. Junior showmanship to the show ring, please. Juniors to the show ring. Oh, I'm sorry, novice to the show ring. Novice to the show ring, please. Novice, your back tags are green. If you have a green back tag, you are a novice. Okay, for real this time, juniors to the gate. Junior showman to the gate.
I'll just make a couple of comments about each of our divisions and the young people. I tell you what, just 3 here in our first division, and this is tough in my opinion. We've got 3 young people that are doing a really nice job, and I would say all of these young people definitely seem to have some experience. I think sometimes in this particular youngest division, sometimes you can fight some experience versus some inexperience, but it really seems like all these kids have had some experience in the ring, and they kind of savvy what they're doing out here. So I think it becomes a little bit of personal preference out here. Young people, whatever happens this evening at your awards ceremony, continue to do what the people that are behind you are teaching you, instructing you to do, because I think each of you do an outstanding job. It really just comes down to personal preference. So if y'all would, let's congratulate all of them. Really nice job, and we'll move on to the next division.
Junior showmanship to the show ring, please. Juniors to the show ring. Senior showmanship to the gate. Seniors to the gate, please.
Well, a really, really nice group of junior showmen here. And again, a tough decision for me. A lot of close calls, I think, in these showmanship divisions thus far. We've got 4 young people that, again, I think are doing a really, really nice job. Again, could we maybe tweak, adjust some things here and there? I think we could, but we're still developing. We're still growing as showmen. And I think, again, young people continue to listen to those people that have helped you, and watch. I would encourage, come back and watch this senior division and kind of pick up on some tips and tricks and how those kids are doing things. I think one of the biggest deals you can do as a showman is just sit ringside and watch somebody that you think, hey, that kid looks like they know what they're doing. That's a great way to improve your skills, in my opinion. I want to just make a lot of comments here, but again, I think we've got, I think it's a close call. We've got 4 young people doing a really nice job. So if y'all would, let's go ahead and congratulate them on a job well done, and we'll move on to our last division of showmanship.
Senior showmanship to the show ring. Seniors to the show ring, please.
Well, a great way to end, and as tough as those first couple of age divisions were, I think this one maybe just takes it up just a notch in terms of competition. We've got some outstanding young people, and I would really compliment y'all on the kind of showman that we've seen this morning. I tell you what, it makes my job as a judge really easy when we can see the cattle and we can make decisions, because each of the animals are being presented to me. They're at their absolute best. And so my compliments to each and every one of you showmen here. However it shakes out this evening, again, good luck in the future and in all of your endeavors. Thank you once again for having me this morning. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If y'all would, let's put a big round of applause together for our seniors. It's been an outstanding show.